had to pause a minute to record. Oh, crap. Anybody lose power? I hope not. Apparently all y'all that are online or didn't lose power. I see Bryce shaking his head no. That's good. Looks like I have somebody down here. Oh, who is shaking her head that lost power. Matthew, good to see you. You were the Matthew that contacted me, I think.
Yes,
Is that
ma'am.
correct? Okay, good. All right, well, welcome. Okay, so here we are. We're at our class and you can see it now. I want to point out a couple of things here. I set my courses up the same format for every course I teach, starting with this one. So you'll see, of course, your announcements. We're going to talk about each one of these items here so you know how to work through the Moodle component of this course. This is what we call a high flex course. That means that, see, a lot of y'all are not putting on your video. You must be in your jammies or eating or doing something, or hopefully that means that you are actually still on. That's the problem with not being able to see. All of these are requirements for you, like this what about and the components here of the social work profession. Here's some resources for you to cope with this climate that we're in, not knowing when it's going to officially resolve, even with immunizations available now, though they're not rampantly available. You'll note that these dates have not yet been changed. They will change. A lot of the material will look similar, but not necessarily what you're able to see now on my screen. Right now, all you can see, or should be able to see from your student view, is simply these headings. Is that correct? Okay. So those you'll see those updated as we go through these first couple of weeks. And then you'll see your assignments begin to show up as they are due. Know before we go through the course outline that the syllabus, that you will always have at least a week to complete any assignment that's on Moodle. All assignments, all written work will be done on Moodle. Okay. As a high flex course, which I was about to say a minute ago, this means that we meet one time a week face-to-face via Zoom or in the class. Obviously today, because of weather, all classes throughout the campus are meeting with Zoom. So that's why we're meeting our first class this way. But each Tuesday at 11 o'clock, we will have a face-to-face Zoom meeting, or you'll receive notice when I am actually physically in the classroom where you can choose to attend if you wish. What we learned, and I'm saying the universal we for the whole campus faculty, in large meetings we've had with the dean and also with the president and other committees that we're involved in as faculty, it's pretty uniform that last semester, most students chose to do Zoom, and that's great, except we have an obligation to stick to what we put into the course schedule. If we put it as an asynchronous, meaning that you don't meet exactly on time, you don't have to be present, you can do recordings or whatever, then that's asynchronous. And if we put it in the course outline that it's 100% online, and in your course outline for that course, it says asynchronous, meaning that you don't have to physically log on at the time of the class, then that's how that works. But if you have a synchronous class or a high flex class where you are required to be online if the courses are provided online, and you may receive notices that a Tuesday may need to be online for various reasons. It may be that we have a reassertion of campus shutdown, or y'all have to stay in your dorms or something, I don't know. So it may be that we're at conference. So just be prepared for that. So with that, let's go straight into the course syllabus, and then we'll do a little bit of introduction, if you choose to. I don't want to put anybody on the spot, okay? All right, so your course syllabus, what you're going to see right here is that it is a 2020 syllabus, okay? Those dates will be updated for you and reflected on your Moodle, okay? So let's go ahead and look at that now, but don't consider the due dates or anything in there. If you are a person that likes to print things out right away, if you print this out and use it, it's going to be all wrong. So it's up there simply to let you know that a syllabus is there. It will be practically exactly the same with requirements because they're already set up on the Moodle shell that I use. They will be updated and subjects will be updated on Moodle, but what's on the syllabus, except for the dates, will be the same. Okay, any question about that? Okay, all right, so, and these are the two items that are most important to start our introduction to social work, as it is with any profession, that you understand the ethical guidelines for your profession. That's your major. Oh wait, I already downloaded it. Okay. Oh wait, it's not gonna. Hold on. Let me see. I had this problem yesterday. There. Ah, I figured it out, I think. Or I didn't. Shoot. Are y'all seeing screen 1 or screen 2? Are you seeing the syllabus or are you seeing the course introduction?
I see the syllabus.
I'm seeing the syllabus.
I see the syllabus.
Yay, good. Okay, great. All right, so while I'm looking at this, I'm not going to be necessarily looking at the camera because I got my two screens going, okay? So first of all, notice that these office hours will change. So my office hours this semester are only on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, although you can reach me by text, which I'll give you that information. It's not on this because when we started out last spring, that was before we got shut down with COVID. So this has not been changed yet, but it will be. So my office hours are going to be Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm here till 5 on each Monday and Tuesday, and then until let's see, 12:30 on Wednesdays. But you'll be able to reach me by text or email, either one. Email is going to be this right here. You see me point to that, right? And this is my office phone. But what you're going to see is my cell phone. And if you want to note it as I write it down here for you, remember I'm going to be finishing this update. You're going to have some instructions on how you use this contact though. This is going to be your quickest contact for me. I answer this within you almost every time. A few times I missed that you're going to get the quickest response to your questions, anything to do with the course or anything you need to let me know that's going to impact the course. You are going to need to text me first, because since I provide myself my personal cell phone, university doesn't provide those for us. I screen those calls. And what happens is I put your number in there. So when you call me, I know what course you're calling me from, and I don't have to have you tell me that every time. Okay. At the end of the course, believe me, I don't want all those numbers and names in my phone. So I delete all of those at the end of the semester. So if you're uncomfortable with that, I understand. Just contact me by email or try to call me on my office number. But most often that number that's going to be most quickly answered is the cell. But only if first you send me a text. Your very first text should identify your name and the course you're in. And all you have to do is put Social Work 1001, okay? And then your whatever your message is. And then I'll know to put you in that listing I have for Social Work 1001 spring of 2021. Is there a question about that? So you know how to contact me? Okay. Now, I have a caveat. I don't know if it's the weather or what, or living in Marion, Louisiana, that's 10 miles from the border of the state of Arkansas, or what, but this weather, ever since it hit us, has had my phone totally out of whack. I don't know if it's because I tried to mess with the settings, not knowing what was going on with it, but I'm not getting phone calls right now. I am getting texts, but no phone calls right now. So I'm expecting that will be clarified, hopefully, by the end of this day, because it's not very good. My boss has been trying to reach me too. I just had to send her a message for the same. All right. Notice that you do not have to purchase a course for a text for this course. This is something near and dear to my heart that I kind of did on the down low before open educational resources became a thing at universities. I'm proud to say that, you know, ULM, when I arrived back here in 2016, that ULM has fully embraced open educational resources. And they didn't actually fully embrace it until probably about the end of 2017. So now, however, we actually have workshops that faculty have the option to attend in order to use open educational resources. It's actually called Open Educational Resources / Affordable Educational Resources, which to me is still a joke. You either provide them free or you don't. The idea of this is that it cuts costs. Now, for students, what you will learn as you go through this course is the reason why this is near and dear to my heart. I am a clinical social worker, and that's the most important part of why I got into this field. Didn't get into it to necessarily teach, but here I am. We'll go into that more when we do a few introductions. But it's near and dear for the very reason of our ethics. It annoyed me greatly when booksellers would come up to us 2 weeks before end of semesters. Here, the 17 years I was here prior, the 10 years I was at Jacksonville State University in Jacksonville, Alabama. They would come up religiously. They'd bring us little, you know, goodies, snacks, and buy the books from us. Now, there's something inherently unjust about that students were paying, you know, sometimes hundreds of dollars for textbooks, and then we were making money on it. That didn't make sense to me. Now, we didn't make a lot of money because they didn't give us back hundreds of dollars for the texts that we used that semester. They'd only give us, like, you know, really pennies on the dollar. So we might say, for example, have a text that's a new edition for this course that, had I required it for you, might cost you almost $100 because the average book now costs about $100. But they would give us maybe $20 per new text that we had, or any text that was in 5 years of publication date. Now, tell me that's not a good thing, right? And for social workers, with our emphasis on social justice, that's the core of our profession. That's why I started doing what I could to protest that. And that's also part of what we're about as a social work profession. So you'll hear more about that and understand that, as I said, as we go through. So what this course does, it tries to introduce you to this profession. And as I said earlier, this is either an elective for you, for your social science elective, if your major allows it, or you are taking it because you have declared social work as a major, or perhaps you're thinking about declaring social work as a major. Most students, honestly, are taking it as a social science elective. But we always seem to have one or two, sometimes more, who find that they like what they are introduced to. And so we oftentimes will have students change majors. By the way, changing majors is common, in fact, normal. The average student changes majors 7 times. Did y'all know that? Mr. Lovelady, I see you know. So, you know, the idea is we get through college as quick as we can without using up all of our sources, right? Or costing us too much, however we pay for it. But, you know, when you start out in your major, sometimes you discover, hey, what I thought I wanted to do isn't exactly what I thought I wanted to do. And you discover by taking a course that maybe you didn't plan to take, you just took it because it fit your schedule and it fits your requirement for whatever major you're in. And you discover, hey, wow, this is something I think I maybe want to try, you know? And so that's what causes folks to change majors. That's actually, in my opinion, a healthy thing. Not only is it normal and common, it's sort of a healthy thing because, well, not sort of, actually is a healthy thing in my opinion, because it allows you to find something that, as Oprah says, is your bliss. That if you have to work for your living, which most of us in the United States do, 90% of us do, only a very elite group of individuals are able to live on investments and dividends from investments and not work at all. So for all of us who have to work, finding something that you truly love and enjoy and that meets who you are as an individual, fulfills you, is satisfying to you in the work that you do, then it's a good thing to try out different things. That's how you're going to find your bliss, as Oprah says. Okay, so that's what this is about. It's helping you understand our values, what it is that we do, how we do it, what our knowledge is about, and how we carry out what we do. So that's what we call practice. And it's also to introduce you to various fields, places where we work, and people that we work with. There are, as I said to my senior class yesterday, probably more social work or non-degreed social workers that we call human service workers total in the United States today than there are nurses or any other profession, even probably more than janitorial staff, more than banking executives or tellers for banks, more than store owners and operators and workers. And the reason is because our social welfare institution is so broad. Social Security office alone is huge and has been since the 1930s. And so we don't know that as a general public. And that's why it's easy to say that if we looked at job descriptions and class them within the domain of social work, then we would see that there are far more social workers. But the sad thing is, we don't get paid by the volume of us who are actually delivering and providing social services. So there we go. I don't know if my camera's frozen, is it? No? Okay, good. And y'all can hear me okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good. One of my little lights on my camera went off. Okay, so I'm not going to belabor with objectives. I really want us to talk a little bit about introductions. Here it says other procedures include asynchronous or synchronous lectures. That means either asynchronous, as I said earlier, you don't have to be online at exactly the time I'm online. Synchronous means that you do. That's how we record in-person attendance. You will have independent things that you will do on Moodle. Remember I said all of the course work will be done on Moodle. We will have guest speakers online when available now. Can't do in person, which is sad. We also can't do in-person activities, which I love to do in classes to engage you, but I have learned last semester about using various game programs like Kahoot on Moodle. So we're gonna try to do that with our Zoom, and then site visits. But more than likely, they're going to be your digital exploration of various sites. So class participation is essential. My whole thing about teaching is effort. You got to expend the effort on exposure to the material, either by attending class and lectures, and if you're a lucky one that can just absorb what you need to absorb and pass the course with a B or an A anyway, or even a C you're satisfied with just listening, great. That's your decision and prerogative. If, however, you want that A, then you got to exert the amount of effort required to get it, which for my courses means doing what you need to do and doing it on time. And it means being in attendance. If you're not in attendance, if you're not exposing yourself to the material at least, then you ain't going to learn it. That's like a duh to me. So that's why I put so much emphasis on your attendance or class participation. And there's two ways that I look at it. One is you're at least attending 10 courses, and we meet twice a week, or you're going to do something online. So you have 2 times that you're going to be accessing course material. So I'll look at 2 things on Moodle for that, besides attendance that I see for 2 times a week, one in person via Zoom or in the classroom, or that you are online. And online is measured 2 ways. And that is that, and this whole thing right here that I'm using with my cursor to show you, that is not how I do it anymore, because I've found that I can more quickly look at Moodle logs for when you log on and course participation logs, which shows me how long you spend on, say, a video I post or a reading that's posted. Okay, so be aware of that, and that will be spelled out for you when you can see your course outline, which I hope will be by the end of this week. But I'm trying to get 4 different course outlines done and a winter session finished up, actually 2 winter sessions finished up. So I appreciate your patience knowing that. You will have 2 open-ended, open book quizzes that you can take over and over for points. The point of these are to show you what's going to be on the tests. You'll have 2 exams, a midterm and a final. They will be objective, meaning that you will do multiple choice and true false for each one of those, the midterm and the exam, final exam. Each exam only covers the material we're able to cover up to that point of a midterm, or up to that point from the midterm to the final. You understand that? So it's not comprehensive, meaning that the final is going to cover every single thing in the course. Okay. So, and I see Ms. Williams looks like, or is that Ramon? Ramon. Okay, Mr. Williams, sorry. Ramon. I see Ramon likes that. I saw your okay, so good. All right. So, okay. And the quizzes that you'll take about 2 weeks before your midterm and 2 weeks before your final actually are going to be answers and study guides. So taking it over and over is intended to reinforce it for you. And I see Mr. Lovelady likes that. Good. So that's what those are about. You're going to have a field of exploration assignment. And what this is you'll do a 1 to 2 page paper that'll be double spaced. So it's not going to be, long and hairy. What you will do is interview someone who is working, a social worker, degreed social worker, who's actually working in an area that you think you might want to do. And this is going to take place and do at the second half of the course, because you're not going to know what those fields are until we go through them the first half. Okay. The second requirement is a scavenger hunt, but I'm going to be changing that up too a little bit, besides exposing you to the 211, and that's something that we'll do in a game format. Okay. Finally, you have extra credit opportunities. Every course I do, I give you opportunities to earn up to 25 maximum points extra credit. This is your opportunity to make up any lost time you may have occur in not you know, getting something done on time or losing an assignment that you didn't get done and you can't get back to, or just don't want to get back to because you got other stuff pressing you at the end of the semester or by midterm. This is another opportunity to show effort, because if you do these extra credit opportunities and you earn all 25 maximum points, you can earn however many you want, from 5 to 25, but you can't earn more than 25 to influence your grade. You have any question about any of that I've talked about, but particularly the extra credit? Okay. All right, you're going to have all this written down for you when you can see your final syllabus. And by the way, after we meet today, I'm going to remove this introduction I'm showing you, and you won't see it again until it's updated for you. Okay. All right. So now what I do is I grade on a 10-point scale, and I do that by the points that you see here, right here. Okay. And those total points, I create a range, and that range is determined by taking 90% of the total points, and that gives you a range, 80%, 70, 60, so on. And you see how your grades will be broken down. So at the end of the semester, you will see on Moodle your total points. And those total points will include, by the way, any extra credit that you earn. So your total points, when I look at those to see where you fall on this range right here, when I look at your total points, if you did everything in the course, made 100% on everything in the course, you would have a total of 600 points. But if you also did extra credit, you would have 625 points. An A is an A is an A, right? But if you earned 530 points and you did 25 extra credit points, what would be your grade? Can you tell me?
Nay.
It would be an A. Exactly right, Mr. Lovelady. Because what happens is I would not see 530 total points for you. I would see 550 points for you, 55 points for you, which falls in an A. And so it goes with each one of the ranges there. So it's to your benefit to assert effort wherever you can. And that's what is the design of my courses. You can't learn it if you don't assert the effort, right? Okay, so there you go. And here's all the stuff that bears repeating with etiquette online. No all caps is the main thing. Don't cut and paste, don't cheat, don't do any of those things. And then all of this. We also have an additional requirement that will be placed on your updated syllabus. And that is that we have to have verification of your address. And this is a federal requirement that we've just received a semester, about 2 days before semester began, actually. And that will be included in your updated. Okay. So you'll also have an outline. They'll tell you what you need to be looking at. It will be more detailed than this, because I was beginning to start to, fill in TBAs and to be announced until I can get it updated for you. Okay. All right. And that's that. So let's do a few introductions. Those of you who are comfortable telling me who you are and why you're taking this course, which you're going to also do on an assignment you need to do right away, that you're going to get, wait a minute, did I put that as 10 points extra credit? Oh, I did that on one of my other courses, sorry. All right, you're going to have an automatic opportunity for 10 points. So everybody should start out with 10 points extra credit, because this is required by university, is to verify your address, but also to do an introduction. You have to do that within the first week of classes by ULM policy, which has always been the policy. It's not anything new. The address part is. And so you will do that so that we can verify your enrollment in the course. Okay. So some of you may decide you want to drop, and that's fine. And you have until, I think the 15th, which is also the last ad day. Is that correct? Anybody know? I'll try to remember to put that up there for you. Okay. What your last ad drop date is. All right. So introductions. Anybody?
Okay.
Okay.
My name's Bryce Loveletty. I'm a junior communication major. I'm really involved on campus in a lot of organizations. Originally from Batesville, Mississippi, but I moved here my junior year of high school, and I graduated from Washita Christian High School right here in Monroe. And I like to dance. I was the previous mascot of ULM, so that
Oh,
was
wow.
pretty cool. Yeah.
Wow. Well, glad to have you in class, and anyone else who's involved in an RSO or as involved as you are on campus. That's wonderful, because that actually, a tidbit about your involvement on campus. There was a professor we used to have. He was actually one of my professors too when I did an undergraduate degree here at ULM. Then it was NLU. I'm trying to get to full screen here. I don't know. I'm not going to waste time doing that right now. But Bryce, this particular professor told a story about one of his students who went through a sociology major and didn't do particularly well, but he was very involved in campus activities and in campus life, as you described your involvement. And he went on, was a very sociable guy, you know, and he went on, based on his involvement in campus activities alone, to become an executive in a high-powered company, and, you know, started out with an incredible salary just based on his ability to interact with other people to the degree that he was able to do because of his involvement with campus activities. Now, those of y'all who can't be as involved because you're maybe a non-traditional student, or maybe because you work a good bit on top of being in school full-time, that's kind of hard to be that involved in campus activities. We know that. And that doesn't mean that you too can't also use things that you are involved in outside of your work life and your academic life. And most of us have something that we're usually involved with, whether it's, you know, church activities or social activities, or, you know, whatever it is. You may be, as one of my students several semesters ago was actually a online author. You know, there you go. He built his own repertoire of skills that he was able to use. In addition, in that case, he was a social work major, to being a social work major and going into social work. So take heart if you're not part of RSOs like Bryce is, but Bryce, on the other hand, you and those like you, that's actually a very positive thing for you. So anybody else? We've got about 12 minutes left, looks like. My other clock on the wall is a little slow, I think, or fast.
Yeah. Hold on. Hi, my name's Zach. I'm a
Hey, Zach.
sophomore. I'm a sophomore here at ULM. I'm a psychology major, and I'm taking this social working course to help get credits in the oh geez, what was the category? In the sort of like humanities.
Social sciences?
Yeah, the
Humanities, okay.
humanities.
Okay.
So that's one of the reasons why I'm taking this course. Another reason would be because I plan on, you know, being a lawyer, and, you know, that is kind of social work-ish. So I felt, you know, I might get some skills that will help me in that career field as well. I'm an avid gamer, and I also enjoy skating, especially skating around campus. It's a fun place to skate around.
Okay.
I'm not sick, I promise.
Okay. Good.
Right.
You know the COVID rules, right? About if you have whatever.
Yeah.
So they told us every building, the president and announcements were given to us that every building was supposed to be taking temperatures, but I don't think our building at Strauss is doing that yet.
Mm-hmm.
Is it?
was Strauss taking?
Have you been in the building, Zach?
I think I was last semester. I don't remember getting my temperature taken though.
Yeah, we didn't do it last semester. It was just supposed to start this semester.
Maybe when I go back to a physical class in Strauss Thursday, I
Forgive
will see
me.
my temperature
That's
taken.
right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot we didn't have classes today. We're not physically there today or yesterday. Okay. Yeah, just a couple of comments, not to cut you off, but to allow others to maybe speak up who want to and to tell you a little bit about me, maybe. As a psychology major and your ambitions to become a lawyer, that is a perfect fit with social work, with the social work course, and hopefully will meet what it is you're interested in taking it for that purpose. But there are a lot of social work students I've had who did become attorneys. And in fact, the Louisiana Department of Child and Family Services, and indeed most states, corresponding agencies, every agency in every state is called something a little different, but the most common is Department of Children and Families or Department of Children and Family Services. We have attorneys who are employees of DCFS in Louisiana, and they serve as attorneys specifically for children and youth who are involved in the state child welfare system. So just an FYI, it's a perfect fit. A lot of students that we have become attorneys and have become civil rights or ACLU attorneys too. So just little tidbits. Okay, anybody else?
I can go.
Hey, Miss Carter, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody. My name is Kelly Carter. My major is social work because I want to become a social worker because I've been in foster care, and so I feel like I could be, an advocate for foster care children. I don't know. And I'm a very good person to talk to, a very good counselor. So yeah, I'm from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I graduated from Northeast High School, and I am a freshman.
Excellent. Well, welcome, and we're glad to have you. And that is a good background to apply towards working in child welfare. We'll be talking about a special stipend program that exists only for social work majors in their last semester, provides a field placement, provides employment after graduation, and a stipend in your last semester that provides a living allowance. So that's only for our students, however, who are interested in working for DCFS. And also, foster care is an area that many students come to this field for, is to explore that and process some of those experiences. Okay, thank you, and welcome to our major. Anybody else?
I'd like to go. Of course.
Sorry.
You go ahead.
Oh, we got several all at once. Okay, it's hard to tell who.
I'll turn my camera on.
Mr. Williams, go ahead, and then we'll do Moyers, Goodwin, and Brown. How about that? Okay, Mr. Williams, tell us about yourself.
Well, I guess I'll start my name and everything. My name Ramon. For some of y'all that don't know me.
Okay, you're kind of muffled a little bit.
I'm sorry about that. Give me a second.
Yeah, I can hear you now. We can hear you now, I think.
There we go.
Oh,
Okay.
not now. Oh, that's much better.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, for some of y'all that don't know me, my name's Ramon. I guess I like to be social around others. That's the main reason why I chose to look into social work, because I like helping people, talking to people, catch their interests and so on and so forth. I graduated from St. Fred's. On campus, I'm very social around others. Sometimes I talk, hang with friends, or do most of the events that come around and go at ULM.
Okay. So you're involved in campus a lot too.
Mhm.
Good, excellent. Okay, well, same applies for you as the pep talk I gave for Mr. Lovelady. So very good. All right. And I have had children who are now in their 30s who went to St. Fred's and those who graduated from OCS. So, okey-doke. And Smoyers, I think you're next.
Okay. My name is Tabor Moyers. I'm a junior in college. I'm not very active on campus, but I live in Bonita, Louisiana, which is also like 10 miles from the state line. So I live like an hour away from campus. My major
Oh,
is
wow.
psychology. I am taking this class because I was thinking about getting my master's in social work. I'm really just trying to decide what I want to get my master's in. So I took this class just to see if I would like it or not.
Okay,
And yeah.
great. So are you a commuting student? Do you commute from Bonita?
Yes, yeah, I commute.
Wow, that's a worse drive than coming from
Yeah,
Marion to
it
campus.
sucks, but you know, I don't
Wow.
have to pay bills. So
Yeah, well, that counts for a lot, dear. So
Yeah.
enjoy it. Enjoy it
Yes.
completely.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good strategy to take this course for that reason, Tabor, because a lot you'll find that taking this course for that reason, to make that decision about what you want to major in, that you'll learn some avenues for practicing in social work. And that's what really, what it sounds like you're kind of heading towards, and makes me think also of what Ms. Kelly was saying, and also Ramon was saying about being, talking to people and so on, is that I always like to ask students, are you the type of person that all your friends seem to come to you to find out how to solve their problems, or they come to you to talk about stuff? Well, if so, then you are a natural born counselor, and probably where you'll find satisfaction in your future career,
Yes, ma'am.
if you, whatever you're looking for specifically. Of course, you can use counseling skills in all kinds of disciplines. But that's the bailiwick. The essence of what it is we do in social work is counseling individuals, individuals within groups. You'll learn this, and also helping with communities, which involves basically the same skills. So yeah, I think you're gonna gain some information from this class that'll help you make that decision or clarify what major you really want to go in. Good, great. So welcome. Let's see. I think we wanted Matthew, Mr. Goodwin next, right? Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everybody. My name is Matthew Goodwin. I'm a sophomore here at ULM, a psychology major. Reason I wanted to take social work courses, I've had a lot of exposure to social work. My mom's a social worker, and my best friend, both of his parents are social workers. So I have a lot of exposure into the field. All of my life, I've battled chronic vascular and kidney disease. And so I really want to become a pediatrician, and I have a lot of insight into the patient perspective of what it's like to be a patient in care. So something I'd like to do is be able to give back to people on a more personal level whenever I go into my career. And so I think this class would help me a lot with that.
Oh, excellent. I happen to have a daughter-in-law for the last 15 years, and hopefully for the rest of my life and theirs as well, for my son and her, who is a pediatrician. And we have just wonderful conversations. And in fact, I enjoy a lot sharing with her my personal experience starting out my career in social work in a hospital, St. Francis Medical Center, as a matter of fact, and working on the pediatric floor, OBGYN. I did counseling with mothers who had stillbirths, or whose babies were born but yet passed in NICU, or children who passed in NICU. And so there's a lot of information that we provide that I've learned through my daughter-in-law and also from field placements in hospitals during my master's work that there's so much content for physicians, no matter your specialty, on that you have to master, that you don't have the indulgence to focus as much on the what do they call it, the bedside manner, so to speak, or the ability to connect with your patients, and particularly to do it in an effective, quick way because of the volume of patients that you'll have eventually. So hopefully this will be a good start for you and set you ahead of the pack once you get to that place. So good luck with that. That's a great ambition, and admire you for your ability to cope with your conditions. Okay, so we got a couple of minutes left, I think. Well, yeah, about 4 minutes left, I think. So who was next? I'm so sorry, I lost track of who we had next.
I don't know if anybody else was trying to go. I guess I can
Good. Okay, go ahead.
My name's Robert.
Can you show us your video?
My phone screen has been shattered, so it will look real refracted if I try to do it. It's really terrible quality right now. Anyways,
well, thank you. Go ahead.
Anyways, yeah, I'm a junior. I started when I was like 27. My major is in psychology, and I'm not really sure like which minor I want to pick. It's either criminal justice or social work. The reason why, like, I had a lot of trauma happen to me when I was a kid, and I had to do court cases and stuff in high school, and like it really messed with me. And so after, I finally decided to start college, I was like, what do I want to do? And after doing psychology courses, I was really interested in it, and I liked sociology too. But I want to go maybe into like a victim's advocate career or like crisis intervention, because I know how it is to like have to be like in spots like that when you're young and you don't know how to handle it. So I think I could have used more help then. And so for me, like, I want to help people going through the same thing, so to speak.
Right.
So
Excellent.
I like,
okay.
yeah, I like behavior and trying to figure out like why people do what they do. But I also, I like the therapy aspect a lot as well, because I think, people that need help, they should be able to get it. But I really want to push, like, when I finally get into my career, I want to be one of the people that like pushes for higher access, to therapy that's not so expensive for everyone.
Great ambition there. Yeah. Well, you sound like you're made to order for social work, I'll tell you, but also law. So when you talk about being a victim advocate, that's a great way to do that. And that's actually what attorneys do, that I was responding to Zach and his similar ambition with psychology and going from there into law. That I mentioned then, as you may remember, that there are attorneys who are actually hired by the state specifically to work with court cases that involve children. So there's that fits you from what your introduction has given us too. Also, that did you say you're 27?
I started when I was 27. I did my associate's degree and I graduated in 2019. So I took a year off because I had like a death in the family and stuff. And then I decided to go back last fall. So now I'm in the second semester of my junior year. I'm almost 31 now. But
Okay.
yeah, I started a little late, but that's okay, I guess.
Well, it's absolutely okay, and I'm going to finish up on that. Y'all will hear more about me by way of introducing you, and you're getting to know me throughout the course and giving you a few little tidbits already. Just in short, I'm a social worker by trade. Had a sociology undergraduate, social work master's, and a PhD in social work. And so you'll hear more about that later. But to follow up on, and the reason I asked your age is this, that is still young. Trust me, it may seem like older to some of the traditional students who are just starting out and are brand new freshmen, like I suspect Miss Carter is. But I started at that age, and here I am, you know, so you have plenty of time. You are
That
still
encourages me a
within the
little bit.
realm. There, you're still within the range, if you will, of your youth to be able to complete a degree and to be able to do it in a way with something that you're going to really be happy with as a career the rest of your life is very important. So take heart. I put my husband and I, after we married, he was already in school. I had not started college, although I wanted to go. He went, he finished, I worked, and then we switched. So when I started, I was 27, as it turns out, and completed when I was in my 30s, around having our 3 children, who I said are now in our 30s. So there you go. You got a pattern. It's okay whenever you do higher ed, whenever you seek to be educated is fine. Okay, so we're done, and I will look forward to communicating with y'all again next Monday that we will meet, which will be on the 25th. And Mr. Lovelady, hopefully you can send me an email if you're still on about what RSOs are doing with the Martin Luther King Day. They're taking donations. If you haven't had that notice on RSOs you may be involved with, please note that and please contribute. We'll talk more about that at another class. Okay, I see Mr. Lovelady shaking his head. Very good. All right, so thank you all for your contribution, and I'm excited. Got a good group. Very good. So take care and have a good rest of your day. Stay warm.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
Miss Savage.
Yes. Yes.
I
Yes.
want to talk to you about the student, and dang, I forgot the name of it. The project that I wanted to do.
Oh, that was you, Kelly. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Stay on for a minute after everybody gets off.
Ooh.
Okay.
The Emerging Scholars Program.
Right. Yeah. Mhm. Yeah. I don't want to remove her, but I need you to, Ms. Doucette, if you're still on, please close or leave the meeting. Yay, there we go. Stop sharing the screen. Okay. All right. I think it may be a situation where she is just failed to leave the meeting and is not present. So are you comfortable with that?
I mean, it don't matter.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, this is a great time. Now I do have a 12:30 class. So let's spend at least 15 minutes to get started about that, because you don't really, I started to do this on the text I sent back to you. Did you get it?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
I did send the text. You wanted to know, what
Right.
time,
Yeah.
what the time.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. You did respond. Yeah, so here's the way I like to do emerging scholars. I like to do something you're interested in, because if you're not interested in it, you're not going to want to stay with it, and it'll get boring, it'll get hard, and it won't be enjoyable. So the lucky thing is that given your experience in foster care, that my background in my dissertation was actually in how to keep kids from moving from home to home to home in foster care. And when they had to be adopted, because about termination of parental rights, probably, I'm sure, that when parents have their rights terminated, we want kids to be in good placements that are safe, and they're going to be cared for and loved, and that you're not going to get moved around a lot, because that's not healthy. And so that's what I did my whole dissertation about. So I'm very committed and interested in that area. And anything you would like to explore about that, we can certainly do.
For me, I still don't know. Like, I'm emailing the person who sent the email out about it, and
Alma?
I still don't know what like she's not giving me no information that's useful to me. 'Cause I'm still confused as to what projects and stuff, like, I don't know. But I do know
Okay.
I want to do it. She's not giving me, clear detail, I guess. If that makes sense.
Okay, it makes perfect sense. So here's, because I've done others and they've had similar issues. So the way it works is you get with an instructor who's willing to take you on and who ideally is involved with something that you think you would want to study in depth. Now this is to study in depth outside of your regular coursework.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean that you're going to be loaded up, and that you're going to be, working like double time trying to do that emerging scholar project and your coursework. And luckily, I don't know if you knew anything about me before, but that's exactly my area is child welfare. So if you're interested in doing that, that's, we're good to go.
I
But the
am
way it works,
interested in child welfare. That's where I want to end up with this degree. Like I said, I have plenty experience.
right? Yeah. Well, the way it works basically, however, is that you find a professor that's interested, and usually students either hear about it or know about somebody, or they just randomly pick as you did, or more often students will have an idea of something they want to study. But if you don't, and you come into this, and I've had 2 students just like you, one as recently as last semester, that didn't quite understand what they were supposed to do. And I'm telling you, one is you find an instructor, which you did, and you ask about, what kind of projects are they doing? And if they are doing projects that you think you would be interested in, then you explore and set up your emerging scholars semester with that person. And then you fill out those forms, and your emerging scholar instructor will provide with the form that you're going to submit, a background or details of what it is you're going to actually do for that project. Okay. Usually that involves readings or producing some kind of paper eventually. And honestly, Kelly, typically producing papers or doing presentations don't occur until your second semester of doing an emerging scholar. So once you start out, you kind of want to stay with it and finish it, and then so you can go on to the next one. Not to mention that you get that little bit. It's not much at all, but it's something, and also as a stipend. But
yeah, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to do it last semester, but like I said, I was still confused, and even though I'm a good person to talk to, whatever, I have a very big issue with putting myself out there and going, So my issue was I couldn't get past the fact, my excuse was I don't know nobody, so I'm just not gonna do it. And I'm working on, taking leaps of faith.
Okay. Well, yay for your leap of faith, because you're going to need that talking to folks. You really are, because you're going to have to. That's one of the things we do in social work is that, we're kind of like resource detectives, and by resources I mean looking for things that people need. Because one of the things that we emphasize in social work is Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which basically starts out that everybody needs. I don't know if you're familiar with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Are you?
No, ma'am, I haven't heard of it.
Okay, well, it's old theory, but it starts out, and it's still relevant today. It starts out that you have building blocks. So the first building block for personal development, Maslow says, Abraham Maslow is this theory researcher person, and he says you got to have safety. If you're not safe, you're not going to be able to reach maximum self-fulfillment and self-development. And after safety, you got to have belongingness. And belongingness means that you've got to be nurtured and loved. And if you don't have belongingness somewhere, then you're not going to move beyond that. But if you don't have safety, you're not even going to get to belongingness and search for, and the need to be nurtured and all that and accepted, right? And then after that, you start moving into other levels, and ultimately you go to the highest level, which is complete self-fulfillment. Okay, and generally that's in the realm of spirituality, where people that are like gurus and stuff, priests or preachers, whatever. So we all kind of vacillate somewhere in between there. But if we're unsafe, we're not going to get there. And so you had a safety issue, we could say, with being a little shy, of putting yourself out there. One-on-one, you're great, I sense, right? Especially with somebody you know. But putting yourself out there is a challenge for you, and you're taking this leap of faith is the right thing to do. So you've done well. And in social work, like I said, you're going to have to move beyond that safety, because you're going to have to be out there to find stuff that people need. And that may be, it may be, finding a refrigerator for somebody because they can't feed their family, and that's why their kids are in care, or that's why they're getting visits from the state, and that's a real thing. We actually will dig and search for people to actually even contribute. I've done that before in my lifetime. I've searched for air conditioners for people, in hospice care, not even child welfare. So that's something that you'll learn as you go along, and maturity will definitely bring that for you. But doing the emerging scholar will really help you with that too, I think. Basically, it's that simple. And sometimes that's what is difficult for, hold on a minute.